was muted. Dang it. Let me try that again. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of TEDXcellence, the show where we find out that gender ideology is not just for toasters anymore. And I come to you live from Crater Valley on the moon with Dogcat Fox, a Pepperjack, and all of you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome again to Thursday. Technical difficulty Thursday. I had so many buttons and so many things to push. I was kind of rushing at the end there. I was on the phone with stuff and thing, and I had a couple minutes. That's why. I'm not a boomer, I swears. I'm broadcasting live on the internet in the 21st century. I can't be a boomer. Anyway. How's everybody doing this evening? It's been a busy day for me. So, give me a break. But who's joining me on this adventure into gender ideology in binary code? Advocatus Diaboli, good evening. Mike R, hello. Who else is here? Scrolling. Crowbar to the skull, or crowbar the skull, pardon me. I always do that. Good evening. Adam Nixon, good evening. Thanks, Scribe. I need a break from looking at the ceiling. I spayed my ankle, so I can't get out of bed. Well, remember to always spay and neuter your ankles. You opened the door, and I couldn't help but walk. But anyway, glad to provide some kind of entertainment for you and your ankle this evening. Who else is here? Kiro Soldier, good evening. And scrolling. Noah Asensio, or the Alexander, good evening. Okay, now, the duck is throwing me off. So am I talking to Pixel Minute Games? Or is this Derek LaRue? I hope I don't offend if it's not Derek LaRue. But Pixel Minute Games, thank you so much. That is ridiculously generous of you. Thank you. Appreciate it. And I appreciate your generosity. And I hope you enjoy the show, Mr. Duck. This is Derek. Okay, just making sure. I was like, because they took the names off and you changed your avatar recently, and it wasn't quite logged in my memory yet. And I was like, I really hope I'm not thanking someone who's not the person who's donating to me, because that would be awkward. But thankfully, I didn't. So there you go. That's the positive. And then, wait a second. Chat is, there we go. Thank you, Derek. Appreciate it very much, as always. Who else is here? Walter Tomaszewski. Good evening. The One Ton Hammer. Hello. Who else is here? Oh my gosh, so many people. Kieverdam. Good evening, and thank you, Kieverdam, as always, for providing the link at the top of the chat box, guys, to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Please take a look at that if you have the opportunity. If you can donate, please do so. But even if you can't, if you can share that out on social media, that would be appreciated. So thank you ahead of time for that. And thank you, Kieverdam, for providing the link. John Trioxin, good evening. Who else is here? Oh my gosh, it's so far behind. Daryl Odell, good evening. Attack Alpaca, hello. Mr. Joestar, oh my gosh. Now there's a name I haven't said in a long time. This happens every week now. I say a name, I think to myself, Mr. Joestar. It has been a minute, hasn't it? Well, I'm glad you're here. It's nice to say your name again. Dina B, hello. Oh, and you too. Oh my gosh, it's like old home week around here. I better hurry up so I don't lose anybody. Anybody else? Scrolling. Morgan King, good evening. And Chai T 0715, which might be Shadowcat. But I'll say both, just on the off chance I'm wrong. Because again, YouTube has screwed up everything and thrown people's like raw taglines in there rather than their chosen names. Sort of like Havoc Styles Joe. Oh yes, I apologize. Yes, in my rush to get everything set up, bingo card tonight is bingo card B, everybody. Bingo card B. B was the winner of the bingo card poll over on X. I put up, who is the best female robot? There was the TX from Terminator 3. There was Eve from Eve of Destruction. For those of you from like the 80s, Gregory Hines chasing a robot with a nuclear bomb in her stomach. It was great. And then, of course, there was Vicky from Small Wonder. And Eve of Eve of Destruction won. So, bingo card B. Links to the bingo cards in the description. And let's see. I think that's everything for that. But tonight's topic, yes, guys and gals, pardon me, no, that's sexist to me. I apologize. Guys and gals. The question before us tonight is, can feminist AI drive gender equality and inclusivity? No. I say no in the sense that what I assume our speaker, or at least the title of this stream or this presentation means, is not equality of opportunity, more so quality of outcome. And so, no, if you're looking for gender parity across all things, I'm not even sure that feminist AI could do it. But I guess we'll find out what the argument is. Also, the Blakester is here, and Seftis Wolf is here. So, there we go. And Memrillock. Hello, Memrillock. Let's call you Memrillock. Why not? But so get your bingo card B's ready. The inspiration for doing this particular talk was Alien Earth, which I just talked about at length, or at least one aspect of it in particular, on Midnight's Edge After Dark. If you'd like to hear me pontificate about Alien Earth and its first 2 episodes, or at least the part of it that I found the most annoying, you can listen to Midnight's Edge After Dark over on the Midnight's Edge After Dark channel after this. And I'm sure we'll be talking about it more on Midnight's Edge in the morning tomorrow morning. So, that being said, let's start off with this. This sucker goes for 12 minutes and 35 seconds. I'll turn down the music just a smidge to make sure I'm not drowning anything out. I did pump up the volume a little bit. A little Christian Slater action there. If you get that reference, you might be a 90s kid. All right, here we go with Can Feminist AI Drive Gender Equality and Inclusivity?
Before I will talk about artificial intelligence and gender equality, I actually have to ask you for your opinion.
You want my opinion? Oh my gosh, but I mean, I'm a man. What do I... Also, feminism, because before we even start out, let's go to the bingo card, circling feminism. And, diversity, equity, and inclusion. She might say it exclusively? Not exclusively, not specifically, not exclusively, exclusively. She might say it exclusively soon, so we'll just wait. But circle your feminism on the board.
So, if my hands were to resemble gender equality as it is in the society today.
Define what you mean by gender. You mean equality under law? And by her accent and the fact that this is apparently the Leibniz Institute, I'm guessing we're somewhere in the Germanic territories?
Where do you think we stand? How equal do we live?
How equal do we live? Well, in the Western countries, so to speak, unless there is something completely out of whack that I'm unaware of, at least under law, the genders are equal, if not, in many cases, unequal in the sense that the law tends to favor women in a lot of situations over men, especially when it comes to parental rights and sentencing in crimes and things. But you tell me.
Show me with your hands. Okay, I see gaps.
Yeah, you see, I believe that women are so oppressed as compared to men that I'm going to raise my hand really, really high and then laugh about it. This is what constitutes oppression in society as a woman, is that I can joke and insult the patriarchy and laugh about it.
I see gaps. And how do you think artificial intelligence will impact this gender equality in the next 5 to 10 years?
Again, you're not looking for, okay, you're talking about a quality of outcome. You're going to have to get much more specific on what you mean. How is artificial intelligence? I don't know. You'd have to tell me how it would in the first place.
All right. So I see you're not at all optimist. You're pessimist, which is a good start for me.
I'm wary of actually circling deceptive statistics for that one. but we'll wait and see if we get something better. Also, over in the chat, who do I see? Roasted Opinions. Good evening. And this is Hanover, Germany. I thought it sounded vaguely Germanic. Jawohl, mein Führer. Or something.
Because I also think it's incredibly difficult to judge if new technical innovations can actually be supportive of our social causes, right?
Again, you're going to have to get more specific and tell us what you mean.
And I asked myself before coming here, is technology itself even capable of alleviating gender equality?
Alleviating gender equality. I think she means improving. I don't know. First, you have to describe to us the problem. And as I've said many times in the past, okay, you have implied a problem. You have not given us any specifics. You have to give us an example. An example of where you see an inequality. And by the way, an inequality does not necessarily indicate an inequity, right? We're talking about disparities here. Until she gives us a specific example. If there's a disparity in outcomes between men and women, that does not mean necessarily that there is an injustice being done. It could just be the results of natural tendencies or decisions between men and women and their life choices. It could. So unless she provides us proof otherwise, she'll need to give us a specific example of an identifiable injustice, not disparity.
And I found that if we go back 8,000 years in time to the first technical evolution ever, which was tools to crop hay, to provide everyone in the community with food, which was tools to create art, and it was tools to create cultural artifacts.
If you have to go back 8,000 years, okay, so technology to create art and artifacts, and in the technology to create art and artifacts, you saw religious or otherwise artistic iconography elevating and idolizing women, didn't you?
And it's a place in northern Turkey which is called Çatalhöyük, and they found this bodacious goddess. She was the center of the belief system of the people living 8,000 years ago.
Wow, a feminine figure as the center of a belief system. I can see they obviously need some feminism, or is that not where we're going? Or are you trying to hearken back to an 8,000-year-old mentality?
And it was really interesting that the society was driven by females that invented things, that did arts, and they lived in a matriarchal society.
Did they? Did they live in a matriarchal society? Women did art. Okay, I don't know anything about the specific, civilization that she's referring to or anything, but how do you know a woman made that?
But it didn't mean that women were dominating the other genders.
You just said it was a matriarchal society. How do you have a matriarchal society if women were not dominant?
And even back then, we knew there were more than two genders, actually.
I know this is a low bar these days, but all things considered.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Right?
Okay, so there was a matriarchal society, everybody. But we know there were more than two genders. And we also know that a woman made this statue, I guess. But there was no dominance, one gender over all the others 8,000 years ago.
So it was not a system based on the dominance of one gender over the others.
But if it was a matriarchal society, then there was an inherent dominance of one gender over the others. One gender is deferred to over the other. I said others. Pardon me. I adopted her language. But okay, contradicts own point, fails to make argument. Circling that one. So far on the board we have feminism, contradicts own point, fails to make argument, circling free space as well. I mean, if she doesn't say it explicitly throughout the talk, then eventually I probably will also circle patriarchy, because if you're going to mention matriarchy, then ipso facto you've brought up the opposite. Okay.
It was rather a society living in partnership. So they used the tools to work for the common good.
If it was a partnership society, then it would have been an egalitarian society, not a matriarchy. I cannot extend the benefit of the doubt in this instance to a language barrier. No. If it was an equitable society, then it was an egalitarian society. It was not a matriarchy. You cannot say this was a matriarchal society, but then everybody worked in concert and there was no gender that was above the other. No.
And I thought, if the first evolution, technically, was female-driven and supported the greater cause.
The first technical evolution was female-driven, where people idolized. How? Okay, again, if she's citing in abstract information that they've gathered at this archaeological site, pardon me, that has indicated this. Okay, I mean, maybe it's just the poverty of my information. But she's not doing me any favors by just saying that it's so without giving some kind of backup information, but okay.
Common good. Why can't all the next be as well?
Sorry, I got sirens going on in the background that distracted me. Let me back up a little bit and try that again. Hit me, baby, one more time.
And I thought, if the first evolution, technically, was female-driven and supported the greater cause, the common good, why can't all the next be as well?
Why can't all the next be as well? Why can't all societies be matriarchal, egalitarian societies? I don't know.
So if we take this and look at our society as it is today.
Okay, so you want to take assumptions about a civilization from 8,000 years ago and compare it to society today. Okay, and I'm gonna assume a generalized Western society construct.
It's quite hard to judge because you and I agree it's not as equal of a society. So if technology should enhance gender equality, what tools do we have to actually analyze if it works for our cause?
She's not defining her terms. She's talking, okay, well, she still doesn't give us an example. She needs to give us an example of what she sees as an inequality, i.e., hopefully an actual injustice, and not simply a this number bigger than that number.
And one such great tool is feminism.
What kind of feminism? Are we talking first wave, second wave, third wave, sex-positive feminism, white feminism, black feminism, trans inclusion feminism, trans exclusion feminism, radical feminism, intersectional feminism? What are we talking about?
So, feminism...
Oh boy, intersectional feminism. Oh boy, guys. Okay, so tell us about intersectionality. And remember, guys, this came to us from Kimberly Crenshaw in the 90s. Intersectionality in the first place, where she was trying to prove that her client was discriminated against not in one sense, not in another sense, but in a combined sense. And intersectional feminism specifically is to describe the inequalities and the oppressions of black women. I at least so far as I know. But then it has morphed over time to be, think of any overlap in your life or anything you could conjure up into an overlap. It's like, well, I'm a man, but I'm a man with glasses and a man who is also a YouTuber. So somewhere in there, I have man sight impairment YouTuber syndrome or something. I can try to conjure up some kind of victim narrative out of that. But anyway, intersectional feminism. Do tell.
Feminism at the core is a belief that every gender should have equal rights.
Every gender should have equal rights. Sorry, let's say that again.
If it works for our cause. And one such great tool is feminism. So feminism at the core is a belief that every gender should have equal rights.
No, it isn't. No, that'd be egalitarianism. Again, there's a word for this you're not using. Because to say feminism is in some way, shape, or form to say that females take precedence. That's not equality all by itself. Now, the fight for female equality under the law, which is about as close as you're going to get on the temporal plane to equality, yes, females would be the focus when there is an observable and provable inequity under the law. So feminism works when there is an inequity between the two genders. But feminism in and of itself is not a fight for the equality of the genders. It doesn't work like that.
And it doesn't matter if you're a man, if you're a woman.
Yes, it does. It's called feminism. It's not called egalitarianism.
If you're cis, trans, inter, it benefits everyone in the society.
No, it doesn't.
It's a theory that recognizes it's not a personal aspiration, but it benefits the society as all.
That's what it likes to think of itself. That's not how it operates in reality.
And since we face such glaring social disparities.
Disparity. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna broken record this. Disparity does not inherently indicate inequity. You have to give us an active example of an actual injustice. And there are plenty of examples to draw from in the world. Will you give us one that is identifiably an injustice and not simply a difference?
It's also the political commitment that we bring about the change that we want to see in the society.
Like?
And feminism can be a great place of inspiration as well, especially intersectional feminism.
All right. My ears are open. How?
So I think many people in the room might know it, but I still have to remind us, what is the benefit of intersectional feminism?
I definitely need a refresher course because it's been a while. Maybe it's changed again for the 17th time since last I really thought about it.
It is that all the ideas and the theories that I can rely on at university were brought to us by people that found themselves living at the margins of the society.
Wait. Everything you learned at university came from people who lived on the margins of society. Do you mean the margins of society as far as like expertise? Right? Because sure, there are like the scientific community of a particular thing, like astrophysicists in the grand scheme of things are probably a very relatively small population of people compared to everybody else. Do you mean that kind of fringe? What? I'm doing more work and thinking on this than I feel like our speaker has.
Most of the ideas that I can rely on today came from black lesbians.
Wait. Most of the ideas you rely upon today came from black lesbians. Really? Like, I'm not saying there aren't any, but could you name a couple?
From non-binary people of color.
What? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm struck dumb here. Most of the ideas you rely upon today came from black lesbians, non-binary people of color,
From women coming from ethnic minorities or
again, name some, please.
having a disability.
Having a disability from ethnic minority. Yeah, well, yeah, this is the progressive stack. This is intersectionality. It's true.
They were the key drivers of the social change that we all profit from in society today.
They were the key. Name an example. If this entire talk gives us 0 active examples, it'll get a WTF. In fact, I should probably give a WTF just for the fact that she just said that all the stuff that she relies upon today came from those very, very specific and granular demographics. In fact, since it's my show, I'm going to do that.
What?
You gotta be fucking kidding. Right?
They were at the heart of innovations of literature,
Such as,
of arts, of music as we know it.
Music as we know it came from black lesbians, non-binary women of color, and ethnic women with disabilities. Music as we know it.
So,
A needle pulling thread.
to basically just put a line on it, we're all feminists.
Okay, anecdote that probably never happened. Circling that one for the brief history of all things in society and culture. Okay, let's go over the bingo card again real quick to remind us. Okay, marginalization. Yeah, she said out on the fringes of society, etc. before. So, okay. Self-vilification or wretchedness, not yet. Microaggressions or unconscious bias, not that I've heard specifically. Privilege. It's implied here and there a little bit, but we haven't heard it yet. Benevolent condescension. I'll give some time for a more obvious moment, but weightless example, non sequitur. I need an example first. Plays victim by implication, but I'm going to wait. Collectivizes his own demographic. Yeah. So far, I mean, she's women this and women that. Economic disparity, it's implied, but we'll wait. Deceptive statistics. Again, we haven't had any numbers yet. I'm going to wait and see if they give us any. Attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase. Not so far. Everything is rehash. A list. Yeah, she's given us a list of all the very specific progressive stack demographics that have informed everything that she needs to know about life. Mind reading assumes motives. Well, she did... But she was speaking specifically to an audience that already believes her with the whole disparity thing. So her saying, you already agree that blah, blah, blah to the audience. Yeah, it still assumes, yeah, it's still my reason, yeah. Circling that one. Patriarchy, again, it's implied by the matriarchal thing, but let's see if she brings it up. If she doesn't by the end of it, I could be convinced to circle it. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Well, it's in the title of the talk, so I'm going to wait and see if she actually starts talking about inclusion and equity specifically. White supremacy, we'll wait and see if she says it. Childhood or family anecdote, she hasn't talked about herself yet. Systemic or institutional, Not quite yet. Leaves out vital context. I'm giving her more time to give us an example. Sales pitch for product or service, not yet. Word salad. She's riding the line probably by the end of this. So far, I have on the board, remember this is bingo card B, we have marginalization. Contradicts own point, fails to make argument. Feminism. Collectivizes own demographic. Free space. A list. Mind reading assumes motives. Anecdote that probably never happened. And a whole bunch of others that are just a two or three words away from getting circled.
Because we all benefit from the joy and freedom these ideas give to us.
What ideas? What are you talking about?
Sorry.
And now for those of you listening at home, we have an animated GIF of Ken from Ken and Barbie. Sorry, not Ken and Barbie. Well, the Barbie movie. It probably should have been called Ken and Barbie. And he's saying, so cool.
All of us, of course, right? So...
was that supposed to be a joke? I'll be magnanimous. Which those of you who are Undoomed fans on Twitter may know now as a pejorative. But anyway.
Since we're all feminists.
Okay. If I hadn't already circled mind reading assumes motives or anecdote that probably never happened, I have now.
I thought, let's have a look at AI as it is today.
Okay.
And artificial intelligence is a technology that is impacting a lot of different facets of our everyday life.
It's true. I cannot disagree.
And I picked out a generative AI, which is a creative kind of automated decision-making where
you picked out generative AI. Okay. Sorry, let me back up. I think I cut her off too quickly there.
Which is a creative kind of automated decision-making where you prompt it and it creates a picture.
Well, it's not creative in and of itself. It takes prompts and then extracts information from established data sources. It still requires the input of the user to start anything, but okay.
And even though the technical process is rather complex,
Rather.
you can easily judge the result in terms of, is it supporting gender equality or not?
Is it supporting gender equality or not?
So I used Midjourney, some of you might know,
Yeah.
and I asked Midjourney to picture a professional. And studies show that if you ask Midjourney to picture a professional, in 80% of the times it will picture a man.
Why is that? No, seriously, why is that? Why do you think that might be?
And most likely an old white man, weirdly enough with a beard.
Why is that? And I am going to circle deceptive statistics here probably in a second.
In less than 20% of the times, it will picture a woman. And if it pictures a woman, just like you see here, she's most likely to be white and young and smiling. And
like you?
even if she's not white, she's young and smiling. So I don't know what picture comes to your mind.
Where is the information coming from? Okay. The AI is not sexist. The AI is pulling from available data sources that it is connected to. So Midjourney is pulling from whatever totally and absolutely not stolen data sources and images and everything else that it has access to. So you want to engineer the AI to 50-50 show women in every single role that might be requested in an image generation process?
When you picture a professional.
Why don't you say picture or draw a female professional? What would happen then? I bet you dollars to donuts that 99.9% of the results coming out of the AI would be female. You know that a prompt from AI requires as much granularity as you're willing to throw at it.
But I see a mid-aged woman whose career has taught her to perfect her resting bitch face.
None of those people exist. They are not real people. Okay.
So my truth is not represented here.
Your truth is not represented there. Golly, I hate to break it to you, but that's life. My truth is not represented here either. My truth would be ranting monkey has a fully functional and healthy spine. My truth would be my father is not suffering from leukemia. But hey, that's life. So what is your, okay. So the first example of a problem that you give us is the most generic, abstract, non-definitive prompt for an AI program, and you're not seeing what you want out of it. Add the word female. It's just add the word female. But that's too much, huh? Okay. So, how do you propose to solve for this problem?
Artificial intelligence, as it is today, is not capable of supporting gender equality.
Supporting gender no, you want gender parity. Supporting gender, just by image generation. This is the biggest problem.
Capable of supporting gender equality, I'd say.
You'd say.
And we have the same issue with a lot of large language models and generative AI and other AI technologies.
And they are drawing from the information available to it. So what do you propose?
But we also know where it comes from.
Oh.
So when we look at the numbers of gender bias in our society, there was a recent study published by the UN, and it said that.
Oh, and as we all know, the United Nations is the totes gold standard for information on inequalities in this world.
9 out of 10 women worldwide have fundamental bias against women.
9 out of 10 women worldwide have fundamental bias against. Okay, well, I'm circling microaggressions and conscious bias. Women have bias against other women. Oh my gosh. It puts the movie Mean Girls in such a different light, doesn't it?
We judge women's bodies.
Yeah.
We judge women's abilities.
Yeah.
We judge women's role in caretaking.
Yeah. And you know who else gets judged for their bodies, their abilities, their caretaking? Men. If you can believe it. I don't know if you've heard of a thing called gym culture. You know who's also concerned about their physical appearance? You know who's also concerned about being a skilled individual or being able to, ply a trade or even impress a potential mate with their abilities? Yeah, men. I know. And you know who gets judged on their caretaking abilities? Not just excluding women, men as fathers. You ever hear someone described as a good father as an element of their character? It's cray-cray.
If she does career, if she becomes a leader, everything is judged.
Uh-huh. Well, guess what? We've reached gender equality.
And it's so profound engraved in our society that this leads to neglectance. It leads to ignorance. That is also shown in the missing data we have of women and other minority genders in our society.
Missing data? Missing data. Okay, now I understand that large language models and so on are not built off of population demographics. But what are you looking for here? You're looking for AI to overly represent things because you're not seeing them through AI. Again. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting off base here. I need to get myself back on track. Okay, the problem is image generation in AI, right? Okay, we have to get AI to generate an equal number of men and women images if I request to see a professional generate, right? That is the only problem we've been given so far. Oh, also, women's inherent bias against women. Okay, so with only less than half of her talk left, she has to tell us how AI is going to solve for AI's generation problem, and also women being judgmental of women.
Let me give you an example. If you're a woman and you fall sick,
Yeah.
and you go to the hospital, you're very likely to be diagnosed 4.5 years later than men with your disease. And this is the case for hundreds of diseases.
Why? Why? If you don't tell us why, and it makes some kind of sense, then we've got the God of the Gaps theory of statistical analysis, and I'm circling deceptive statistics.
It's not that the doctors doesn't, want to help you.
It's that he's just a sexist.
Just that they don't know what you actually need because
the doctors don't know what you actually need because...
That they don't know what you actually need because we're lacking the data.
Doctors don't know how to treat women because they lack the data. Yes, because as you know, the physiology and the biological processes of women have never been studied. It's just never been studied before. How women work, nobody knows. It's one of the great mysteries. Now, if you ask any man how a woman works on a psychological level, that would be a true statement. But in medical science, as we know, there are no books, there are no studies, there are no experiments, there have been no study. Nothing has been done to understand how women's bodies work. There's not an entire medical industry built around treating the ailments of women or seeing to the bodily and hormonal health of women. It just doesn't happen, guys. Faustonia, thank you so very much. That's very generous of you. Hi, Ascribe. My favorite stat, 99% of feminists give the rest a bad name. It's true. It's true. It's just a whole bushel of bad apples giving that one down at the bottom of the bucket somewhere a bad name. Thank you so much, Faustonia. Let's see. Our pain is taken less seriously and we're misdiagnosed. I don't know. I guess I'm just a mama's boy or something. Because when my mama says that she's in pain, there's no dismissal coming from me. Maybe I'm just rare. But okay, we don't have the data, guys. We do not have the data to treat women at the hospital. We just don't know. We have no idea. It's more likely. So now Kiever Dam. I trust Kiever Dam. Uh-oh. That is sadly my experience, but I think doctors just don't deal with pain patients very well. Uh-oh. Am I having the lie being put to me? Do I have anecdotal evidence from my audience that she's telling the truth? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is it my patriarchal sexism misogyny showing? Is that what it is? It's that one part that we don't have the data. We don't have the data on how women worked in order to diagnose them. All right, I will recline from my aggression, my inborn toxic aggression. All right. Well, all right. Let's. For the sake of argument, I will stipulate. Okay. So medical science lacks the data to take women seriously and diagnose them more efficiently than men. All right. If I accept that to be true, how is AI going to solve for that problem as well? Not only solve for disparities, if not inequities, in medical care, but also for image generation and also for women being judgmental of women. We now have at least three major problems that she's brought up.
So this societal problem, of course, spills over into the digital sphere. The machines we teach, they learn our biases. So they're just as racist, as sexist, as misogynist as the society is.
I mean, if you gave an AI the data set of only, I don't know, Germany in the 1930s, let's say, it'd be pretty bad. I'll give you that. It's just as racist, okay, all right. What? Okay, how is feminist AI going to solve for this?
And this is not the future vision we signed up for, is it? Right?
I guess it depends on who you are.
So let's analyze it through a feminist perspective.
Please.
When we look at the problem pipeline, the first thing that comes to our mind and we understand is that we lack power.
Women lack power. Wait, when we say we lack power, are you talking about women or society in general? Because, of course, feminism isn't just about women, it's about everybody, right?
It was just recently that the spokesperson of OpenAI, one of the biggest AI projects in the world, said we need regulation in order to prevent harmful AI. So if the EU doesn't regulate these companies and they're debiasing, then we're at the mercy of their CEOs to actually, get the kind of AI we want.
The EU, guys, we can only hope that the EU decides to regulate AI. Because as we know, the EU is very reticent to regulate anything. Boy, oh boy. The EU is just the Wild West when it comes to regulation. As we know.
Gender equal or inclusive. The second problem we faced, which is based on this monopoly of companies, is the lack of data.
The lack of data about what?
We're missing so many data sets.
Like what?
Of people, of minority groups.
There are no minority groups in the... specifically what data? Like in image generation?
Of everyone in society that is not represented in AI and the internet as it is today. So how should AI learn to be gender equal and inclusive if that is lacking?
Okay, well, I'm circling diversity, equity, and inclusion because at least in this regard, we're getting there. And also the idea of equality of outcome in general. So circle in that one.
And lastly, of course, based on the problems we faced before.
The problems of image generation, women judging women, and I suddenly forget what the third one was. Anyway, yeah.
Is we lack the trust. We lack trust in AI and we don't know how to be responsible for it.
And yet you want to inject a gender-based ideology into it, and that will increase the trust measure of AI when it is being informed specifically by a female slanted ideology of supremacy, especially in the case of intersectional feminism.
And I know it's a lot of requirement, but since we're all feminists, we didn't sign up for easy, and of course we're able to find solutions.
I signed up for I don't want my life to be more difficult than it already is. I'll take an easy mode. How is AI going to solve for these problems? Specifically, what is it going to do, or what do you propose to do to AI to make it solve these problems?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm here today to remind you of a very practical thing we can do.
Always look both ways before crossing the street.
Most of you, I hope, have a voice in the upcoming European elections. So I'm asking you to vote for the parties that actually make the AI Act that is coming in Europe a feminist cause.
Vote for the parties that want to make AI a feminist cause.
An inclusive cause for our aim. You can vote for the progress we want to see in society.
What? Okay, name the parties. I don't know anything about the EU parties involved except for those aren't even part of the EU anymore from the British side. So what parties are pro-feminist AI?
And make the governments invest in the infrastructure we need to actually build our own models.
Who's going to build those, by the way? Who's on balance, who's going to generate the funds and build the infrastructure for AI over the course of time, do you think? Yeah.
To actually debias these ginormous algorithms that are in the internet.
There is no such thing as zero bias. Okay? I don't know what to tell you. You're not going to de-bias society. It's just not going to happen. All right? Because what you're going to have to do is if the data sets all say, hey, the majority of construction workers are men, so if I type into the thing, generate an image of a construction worker, well, then more likely than not, it's going to generate mostly male figures. So in order to make your equality of outcome, you're going to have to bias the AI in favor of women disproportionate to a reflection of reality in regards to men. You're not talking about de-biasing. You're talking about engineering bias so that you can see the things you want to see, even if they're not actually a reflection of reality, but they're a reflection of your desired truth. Get off your horse.
That would be the progress I would like to see.
I know that's what you'd like to see.
And also, when it comes to companies, everyone always says, we have to diversify the group of people that is developing AI.
Yes, they often say that. We have to diversify the people. And what defines someone as diverse versus someone else?
And this is true.
Yeah.
But we also need the right culture in place in the companies in the first place.
Oh, what is the right culture?
We need companies that actually value feminist and diverse perspectives.
Describe for me a person that would have a diverse perspective. Then describe for me someone who does not have a diverse perspective.
From the beginning to the end. So we need value-based leadership.
Value-based leadership. Not merit-based leadership, but value-based leadership according to whose metric?
In the field of AI. And weirdly enough, I think Germany is actually a good place to start.
Yeah, because when I think of high-minded values, I think of the German people.
We have a high regards of data protection laws. And the Germans like to regulate things.
Jawohl, mein Feminist.
So we regulate processes, we regulate products, because we're always looking for good quality criteria.
Yes. Tell me more.
So why not make this your specialized business case and recruiting strategy and become a very attractive employer for a diverse group of people?
Oh, are you talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace? I'm right there with you, sister.
And lastly,
yes,
the easiest, since we're all able to unlearn the biases that we were brought up with.
I am not unable to unlearn the biases that I was brought up with. I hate asparagus. Sorry, it's just not going to happen.
And we can impact the people around us.
Well, how fast am I going?
You don't have to be a technical expert to actually support civil society organizations that put a lot of money and effort into debiasing algorithms.
Debiasing algorithms.
Such as the Algorithmic Justice League.
The Algorithmic Justice League? Please tell me that that's a real thing. Hold on. Algorithmic Justice League. It is. Oh my God. I've never heard of it before. Algorithmic Justice League. Unmasking AI Harms and Biases. AJL.org. Join the movement. Technology should serve all of us, not just the privileged few. We combine art and research to illuminate the social implications and harms of AI. Oh my gosh, the Algorithmic Justice League. Oh, watch the video. Oh my gosh. What's the video? The video is a TED Talk from 8 years ago. Oh my God, TEDception. Holy cats. Okay, all right. Well, I know what I'm doing next week unless something else comes up. How I'm Fighting Bias in Algorithms from 8 years ago. 352,000 views. Good golly, Miss Molly. And it's only 9 minutes long. Jeez, all right. Well, sorry, that was all off screen. I went to their website, it said watch the video, and it took me straight to a TED Talk. Boy, oh boy, everybody.
Because these people, they collect the data we need to teach the machines how diverse and pluralistic our society is, and that this needs to be represented in the automated decision-making of tomorrow.
Really? Well, they've had apparently at least 8 years. What progress have they made?
So,
a needle pulling thread.
When I talked to my colleagues and we were thinking, like, what could we give this group of people, my little feminist convention tonight, as a takeaway, we actually went back to training Midjourney. We prompted it.
Okay, so far, your only active example of AI bias is image generation. Okay.
We retrained it, we prompted it.
Did you add more adjectives and qualifiers to your prompts than just the most broad-based draw a professional?
And then we had to use Photoshop because it still didn't understand non-binary.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. I wonder why that is. So what you did was you engineered the result to look the way you wanted it to. You want to tell me again about bias?
And but we came up with a picture that I want to show you. And this represents the goddess of the missing data sets.
And down at the bottom, there is a red-headed stepchild. Just... So after a bunch of complicated prompts and da-da-da-da-da and a bunch of stuff that we didn't even get because the AI doesn't understand the idea of non-binary genders, and I can't imagine why, and we had to Photoshop it to get what we wanted, and apparently we put some lady's head on a suit, and I guess that's non-binary, I guess. Oh my gosh. Mr. Tickle Trunk, thank you so much. Let's bias AI to say Germany has a sense of humor. There you go. That's what the secret plan is. The secret plan is to have AI make Germans more acceptable in society, I suppose. Good gravy, lady. This is your missing data set feminist goddess.
This is all the different groups of people in the society that
demographics
need to be equal partners in developing AI, in implementing AI.
Need to be. And what is the technical skill of the small red-headed boy at the bottom of the picture? What does the small red-headed child have to offer in the development of AI? What skills does he possess? What skills does our central goddess-like figure, the white-haired black lady, who I'm assuming is Storm's mother or something, What specific skill set do these individuals possess? Oh, that's right. We're not talking about skill set. Many a truth is told in jest, so to speak. All she's focused on as any kind of active example for what she sees as the problem is a visual one. She is not seeing the kinds of people she wants to see. It's all cursory. It's all surface level. There's nothing more to it that is the primary element of her complaint. Who you are doesn't matter. What you are is the important part.
And in regulating it in the next 5 to 10 years, if we manage to incorporate these people, we have a chance of making actually a progress in society based on AI.
These people, specifically people that look like this. Never mind. Yeah, again, okay.
So let them be your guiding light.
No.
In creating the partnerships today that we need tomorrow. Thank you so very much.
We have, at the very end, we get her business card. Dana Kuby, or Cube, depending. Research manager at DIPF, Leibniz Institute for Research and Information in Education. Wow. All right. Well, everybody, there you go. That was Feminist AI. Will it save us all and promote diversity and inclusion? I'm not convinced. However else I might have been humbled previously during the course of this, I'm not convinced. But let's go to the bingo card and find out what we're going to do next. This is the bingo card as I have it. I'm going to go over it one more time by myself. If you have arguments for squares to be circled, hold on to them. I will get to you momentarily. Self-vilification or wretchedness? No. Oh, and also remember, this is bingo card B. B is an Eve of destruction. Links in the description. Privilege. Yes, by implication throughout, we're obviously talking about the disadvantages to women, and thus men have the privilege elsewise. Benevolent condescension, yeah. Basically by not even describing anything substantive. Weightless example, non sequitur. Yeah, the women judging women statistic. What did that have to do with anything? How is AI going to solve for that problem? Never said. Never said at all. Plays victim. By extension, she is a victim, because obviously AI is not showing her the things she wants to see. She has to use Photoshop even after telling AI what they want to see to get the things they want to see, because non-binary. And so there you go. Poor her. But
bingo.
What? Of course!
We have our first bingo. Economic disparity. Okay, I know I'm being a stickler here. Did she ever talk about differentials in jobs? I know she said, look at all the professionals that are not rendered as women, but that's different than saying an economic disparity. Did she bring up economy in this? I don't recall. Deceptive statistics, yes, I'm circling that one. Between the beginning with the hand raising, 9 out of 10 women are judged on their bodies and their skill set and their ability to parent or caregiver. Yeah, only women, obviously. Attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase. No, intersectional feminism is not a new phrase. Artificial intelligence is not a new phrase. Feminism in artificial intelligence is not a new concept. I've done at least 2 or 3 other TEDx talks on that before. I don't think she brought up or tried to spin anything new. So unless somebody's got another example. Patriarchy, yeah, I'm going to circle that because at least by implication, matriarchy, there's not enough of these kind of people in AI. All the professionals look like this instead of like that. Yeah. White supremacy. Yes, because at least again by implication when she talked about I can only go off the examples that she gave us. The image generation says most often it'll be some old white guy or a white lady if it does produce a lady, which is obviously a problem because I don't want to see anybody that looks like me because I hate myself and I self-vilify rich. Okay, I circled that one. I should circle that one. Okay, well, I just corrected myself for a previous thing, and therefore we've got, if you can believe it, 2 bingos all at once. Oh my God.
I had a dog, and his name was...
What?
I had a dog, and his name was...
Bingo!
Of course!
Bingo.
What? Bingo! Yeah!
Of course! Of course!
Oh my gosh, guys. Oh my gosh. Let's keep going. Childhood or family anecdote. She never talked about herself. I am the surprised. That one fact alone deprives us of at least 2 bingos, 3 bingos. Systemic or institutional? Yes, because she talked about society, she talked about AI systems and large language models and da-da-da-da-da, and also the inherent biases there. Yeah, so in one way, shape, or form, she did talk to us about systems and institutions, society, etc.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
Right?
Yeah!
Oh my gosh. And Alan Thyler. Thank you so much, Alan, for the #1 dog cat fox. Oh, dog cat fox.
Wowee! Wow! Wow!
Oh, there's a drunken uncle dog cat fox. Thank you so much, Alan. Nice to see you. Also, Datura Jones. Missed you before. Hello. All right, let's keep going. Almost there. Leaves out vital context. Boy, howdy. Not a single reasonable example of a problem that could be solved by AI or some injustice. I was looking for an actual injustice that AI was going to solve. She brings up like medical treatment. That could be also a non sequitur weightless example. But never even circles back to how AI is supposed to fix for that. What are you talking about, lady? Seriously, what are you talking about?
Oh, won't somebody please?
Bingo. B-I-N-G-O.
Okay!
Right?
Sales pitch for product or service. Well, I'll tell you what, with as many times as you talked about Midjourney and Photoshop and da-da-da, yeah. Now that was an ad, whether she meant to or not, even if she was critical of it. I don't know if you've heard of Midjourney, but we used it and some Photoshop to get the results that we wanted. So there you go. And lastly, word salad. That ending, especially, and most of the stuff in between. She said a lot of stuff. It didn't mean anything because she never gave us any specifics of any note. And so consequently, if you can believe it, oh my gosh, another double a bingo.
Bingo.
What?
Of course!
Whoop, that didn't play. Let's try that.
Bingo.
What? Bingo! Yeah!
Of course! Of course!
3 squares. Now, if anybody makes the argument that because she brought up Germany and so on and so forth, then we as Germans, if that counts as a child or family anecdote, the answer is no. It doesn't. So a blackout card is not coming tonight. But I might be convinced, but the hill is steep. Very steep. 90-degree angle. So if you've got an argument for a square not yet circled and there's only 3 left, it better be good. Advocast Diaboli, economic disparity. When she spoke about the workload between men and women and how women did the child rearing, etc., while men, I suppose, earn or hunt. When did she talk about the workload? She talked about the biases that women had against other women When did she talk about the workload? And I'm asking because I don't remember if she did. You need to give me a bit more context. When did she talk about the workload between men and women? And do I want to count that as economic disparity? Like if she said, women get paid less or something, that'd be an easy one. You got the. I need some more. I need some more. That slide with the teeter-totter. The slide with the... admittedly, I wasn't even looking. Okay, hold on. Let me check my references here real quick. Was there something up on the slide that I just did not catch on to? Hold on. Sexual... Okay, so I'm not bringing up the video right now. Sexual orientation, class, ethnicity, women, and gender are all on the shoulders of the woman, and the man is standing there holding a beer. Orientation, class, ethnicity, women, and gender. That seems more like an intersectional feminism diagram to me than anything else, and certainly oppressions, but I don't see... Okay, anyway, class. Okay, all right. Okay. All right, just for references here, let me switch cards here real quick. 1 second. Just to make sure that I'm not telling stories out of school to anybody. Okay, let me make sure that I've got that here. Sorry, I don't want to lose the bingo card, so give me a second. Okay. No, stop. Okay, let's try this again. We want to go to... Okay, so for reference, this is what Advocatus is talking about. I know it's kind of small on the screen. I can't do much about that. But the diagram says sexual orientation, class, ethnicity, women, and gender. And women are weighted down. Okay. Fair enough. I hadn't seen that. I was more listening to her words. That is, at least in a representative form, economic disparity as part of the presentation. So circling economic disparity. Let me bring the bingo card back up, and that will do that. Okay. All right, so economic disparity. All right. 2 squares left, 1 that is impossible. Unless somebody has an amazing argument. It has to be an amazing argument. Okay. All right, so Advocatus. The other 2 I have nothing. All right. There you go. Let's see. And Faithless had an economic disparity inherent in the perception that professionals are male in AI. Sure. Although, again, yeah, it showed the bias, but I was looking for something a bit more specific. But yes, no, either way, I'll give it to you. Class as something that was weighing women down on the lower end of things that at least indicates an economic disparity. So there you go. Congratulations, Advocatus. But yeah, so we almost got a blackout, guys. She didn't give us anything new. She didn't say, oh, this is something I like to call as a new buzzword buzz phrase. And she didn't talk about herself or her childhood. And again, just referring to Germany, we in Germany does not count as a childhood or family anecdote. So I think that's it. But hey, for one TEDx, impressive or something to be ashamed of. I guess that is for wiser people than myself to decide. And yeah, that is, if you can believe it, the show. So, we have reached our end. There's not a lot left to debate, but of course, if you're watching this in the future, or somehow I have missed your argument for a square to be circled of the 2 that remain, you can always leave it in the comments below, or you can leave it for discussion over on the Discord server. Do you guys know I have a Discord server? Well, let me tell you, I have a Discord server. Link to the Discord server is in the chat right now. You just have to click on that link. You'll find yourself on the landing channel called Say Hello. And in addition to saying hello, you just have to say the secret word. The secret word will tell me that you're not a bot, actually watch the stream, and have thus earned the right, the privilege, the entitlement to join the Discord server. And today's secret word is Deutschland. Just say, Hallo, Deutschland. Oh, hallo, Deutschland. Ich habe Kokain geschniffen, Deutschland, ja. Der Käse ist in meiner Hose, Deutschland. Jawohl. Something like that. If you just say something vaguely in German, I'll know that you watch the show. Other than that, you can find me on Midnight's Edge in the morning, tomorrow morning, Friday morning at 9:05 a.m. Pacific Time, noon 05 p.m. Eastern Time, where we'll talk about movie stuff and probably some more Alien Earth stuff and the upcoming movies stuff and stuff. Not HR Puffin stuff. That's a whole other thing. And then, of course, on Saturday, granted nothing else comes up, which sometimes happens on the weekends, Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, will be Dog, Cat, Fox, and Friend, my Saturday digest show where I go over other stories that happen throughout the week that have nothing to do with anything else, just because I found them interesting. So there you go. Also, Brian Morris said, if I didn't already say hello. Read by Nature, Uber Allies. Uber Allies? Yeah, Jawohl, Uber Allies. And somebody else I'd missed here. Let's see. Where they go? Oh, yeah, Zach Osborne, hello. Hope I didn't miss anybody else. Of course, Mr. Tickle Trunk, hello. Anything else to plug? Of course, well, next week. Well, heck, if something else doesn't come up, I've already got next week's TEDXcellence ready to go. I have the video from the Algorithmic Justice League from 8 years ago. Of course, it's only 9 minutes long. I might have to do a double feature. We'll see. But otherwise, anything else? Oh yeah, by the way, guys, I forgot to mention, if you're watching this stream, either now or in the future, your view doesn't count. I'm sorry, I'm afraid your view doesn't count unless you interact with the video as well. And that requires, at the very least, a like or a comment, because YouTube is changing how it estimates what a viewership is. And a view only counts if you also interact with the video. So please, if you haven't already, leave a like on the way out or a comment in the future otherwise. There's a merch store link below. Who else do I want to plug while I'm here? Oh yeah, over at Price of Reason's channel. If you like Quantum Leap and Patterns Hold True, he'll be talking about Quantum Leap because he's going episode by episode through Quantum Leap, and they talk about the episodes in depth as nerds, and it's fun. And there you go. And that is the show. Everyone, thank you so much for joining me. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though everyone here is so well behaved. You have very, very little to do. Everybody who donated, either to myself or to the Leukemia Lymphoma link at the top of the chat box, thank you guys so much for your generosity. Very, very much appreciated. Otherwise, everybody, I hope you have a good rest of your Thursday night and your Friday ahead of you and weekend as well. I hope you're all safe and well. If you're not well, please get well soon. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.